Hello, and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. My name is Wack. Today is November 1st, and today's episode is going to cover how we need our ETH mints. We're going to be talking about some rETH depeg action. On top of that, we're going to be talking about the rETH incubator. So we have a very strongly rETH focused episode today, and a whole lot more as well. So let's get started.
10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
Okay, before we start talking about the rETH though, we need to talk about this Linux issue, which Fornax brought attention to, saying that this was noticed in the NodeSet server and it might also impact Rocket Pool. So here, Fornax says that it appears that upgrading Linux OS version, such as going from Ubuntu 22.04 to Ubuntu 24.4, will clear your custom package repositories. This includes both Smart Node repositories for those using version 2 beta and the Docker repository. So it looks like everything is running normally because you'll have the old Docker installed, but in reality you're no longer receiving Docker updates since the repository has been removed. Keeping Docker up to date is quite important for anyone using it, so we encourage you to add it back. To check whether you have the old repo or not, here you run this code and it tells you. And this is what healthy output looks like, and you can see it on the screen. And then you can also see what an unhealthy output looks like. And it kind of tells you, it says if you fall into the unhealthy category, please follow the official Docker installation instructions for your operating system to reinstate it. And then there's link to the Docker files, and that's what it's there. And it says update your packages and grab the latest one. Your containers will restart as part of the process, but you'll be up to date once again. So that's definitely something for you to check out, because if you do update the operating system and something breaks in the back end, you don't want to be in that situation where you're not sure what's going on and why your systems are broken. Just give it a check to see if everything is in the correct healthy example or in the not healthy example, and then check out what to do after that for your operating system. Okay, let's talk about rETH. So actually I should start with this post right here. So what you can see today is that the deposit pool is empty. So we know that it became empty, I think yesterday or the day before even, and we have now a queue of 114 validators, and we have space for 21,529 ETH. That's because those 114 validators need 3,529 ETH to dequeue all of those and get them all into staking status instead of in the queue status like they are right now. Now, what this means is, we need rETH minting to happen to get the ball rolling on building TBL, getting those validators online, increasing the rETH supply, all of that stuff. So Noshua here kind of was talking about this yesterday, saying we basically just had a mini Atlas event. The node operator side got a huge sudden boost. The rETH demand is largely unaffected. So it's normal that the node operator side outpaces the rETH side for now. Just chill. What matters long term is not what happens in the next few days. So I think Noshua here was kind of like reassuring some of the people in the community that you don't have to worry about it too much. And then Sleety here edited the meme with Wolverine looking at a photo of, I think Jean Grey is in the original cartoon, but he replaced it with the whale splash image that was on the Rocket Watch output when we had over 1,000 ETH deposit into the deposit pool, and basically just saying that you miss seeing those, and we really need some of those right now. Like Jasper's making an effort to change his messaging on Twitter to talk about how we need more rETH. Actually, let's go and have a look at Jasper's Twitter threads and see what kind of stuff he's saying. So so that's just polymarket stuff. And just regular Ethereum stuff. But here he's talking about, retweeting regex buster. We're going to be talking about that later. And let's see what he's talking about. Just like Rocket Pool making, like Saturn Zero making it even more decentralized. And then he had posts about rETH. I'm sorry I didn't have these open for you guys saying. So there's stuff here like, the effectiveness is up, rETH is getting better, the APR is about to uptake, rETH is becoming a better product. Also that, you can mint rETH through the MetaMask app now. You can do it right within the app. Also, like, talk about how rETH is the best LST, etc. All of those other things like that. So Jasper's kind of trying to make an effort to get more word about rETH out there. And actually, there's this post as well. So, like, this is another one where he's saying, from a high of nearly 41,000 idle ETH a couple of weeks ago to Rocket Pool deposit pool is now zero. There's no more Dragon rETH. Mint 20,000 rETH in one transaction if you'd like. So, this is the kind of stuff that Jasper's kind of messaging out there. A couple of other people are kind of messaging about rETH as well. But sadly, so far, there's not been too much of mint action happening. So I think, so a couple of people are kind of low-key nervous, but then this next thing has gotten people a little bit more nervous. So let's have a look. So what we see here is that kind of this morning we saw this, some burns happening for rETH, and so rETH has a couple of mechanisms to kind of protect people from, so they can burn their rETH if they want. There's the deposit pool, of course, but there's also a reserve that is, I think, around 5,000 rETH in size, and ETH in size, and then you can go there and burn your rETH and get ETH back. Well, this morning there was, this is the extra collateral. So rETH extra collateral, it was down to 1 ETH basically instead of 5,331 ETH, which is, a target of 1% of the total rETH supply. But that hasn't been updated in a while. But this was like, empty basically. So what happens is the deposit pool is empty, the rETH collateral pool is empty, and that means that anyone who wants to get rid of their rETH after this, they are selling it on the secondary market. So what's the consequence of this? Well, as we scroll across this morning, there was a bunch of large sales happening. So this one was for 3,900. There was another one for 2,100. And there was another one for 1,000 and another one for 1,000. So there was like, 1,000 and another one for 800. So there was a whole lot of rETH selling happening today. And that obviously meant that the deposit pool is already empty, the collateral pool was emptied, and then it started to have an impact on the secondary market. Now, what happened here is, earlier on this morning, Eastern time, rETH had a slight depeg of a 0.277% discount. Now, you all know that, a discount on rETH is really rare. Even when other LSTs had discounts, rETH was oftentimes trading at a premium. Well, as the morning went on, that discount got worse, slowly ticking up as the day went on. So people kind of like started talking about it, like, what's happening with arbing, etc. There's small amounts of ETH in the deposit pool. Why isn't that being used up for arbing? And here Letters kind of wrote, he said, I run the arbitrage bot. When I checked why I wasn't doing an rETH burn transaction, it's under the impression that the burn capacity is 0, which is clearly wrong, but that might be impacting other arb bots as well. And so giving a little bit of reasoning for why it's working, the mechanisms are working out the way they are. And then Ishka says here that based on questions, it looks like some points farmers are burning rETH and the discount has caused others to worry. And then later on, the discount went to over 0.5%, 0.582%. This was, 3 or 4 hours later. And then this is the peak that I've seen so far, 0.8% discount. And this was a couple of hours ago. So yeah, there's rETH has been hit with all those sells. And then, the discount got a little bit better to 773. But that's basically like 3 months worth of staking rewards. So if you have ETH handy, and if you want to swap it into rETH and you're willing to hold it until it gets back to peg, then you can make really decent money on that. You can make a few months of staking rewards. Or actually here 0.811. That's the lowest we've seen so far. So that rETH got hit pretty hard today, and it's kind of like a perfect storm of situations, sadly, and we just need to ride it out now. People kind of dug into it, and here Meow says, seems like a lot of the rETH sold in the past hours came from this wallet. Does anyone recognize who's behind this? So if you have a look here, it looks like it's this ETH Plus token, which is a basket of staking tokens. So the governance mandate is maintain an Ethereum aligned liquid staking token basket and to positively impact the Ethereum staking distribution and to provide value to ETH plus holders through diversification. So this is a liquid staking token basket. And if we have a look at their backing and risk, here it says that they've got rETH, which is 10,000 plus rETH. So they've got some like buffers and stuff and markets that you can be used on. But it looks like these people are adjusting their portfolios and selling some of their rETH. Now, there's a lot of speculation going on about who were the first people to sell, and it might have been that the deposit pool was empty, the collateral, the surplus pool was empty, and then some sales came in. rETH went from premium, like it normally has, a very slight premium or just trading flat, to a discount, and that might have spooked some people potentially, thinking that this is going to be the state of rETH going forwards or something like that. I don't know exactly what. And then that triggered a bunch of selling, or maybe it was just really bad timing where these guys were planning on readjusting their tokens, but they didn't know what the liquidity situation was and dumped it without paying attention to that. Now, the reason why this isn't something that you should be worried about really at this point in time is that here there's a support help explainer from Val that was written a year ago about there being negative there being a discount basically on the secondary market for rETH, and he says that how node operator arb protects the peg. So he says when there's a discount, you buy rETH and then exit your validator. After going through the exit queue, you finalize the exit, and then he says which is what makes ETH to burn against available. Then you burn that ETH in a bundle. And it says when there's a premium, you make a new mini pool which calls assigned deposits, which is what uses up ETH in the deposit pool and makes space, and then you mint rETH in the bundle. So it says number 2 is possible because of Ramana's bot, but number 1 at the moment we don't have a tool with that. So this is kind of possible, but at the moment it is basically what happens is that you exit your validator and try to do it using a bundle where you burn the let me think. You exit your validator, the ETH goes back to the deposit pool, then you use that transaction to mint to make space for rETH, and then you buy rETH on the secondary market, and then you sell it into the deposit pool and keep the difference. Basically, I think that's the flow there. So you end up with a difference, which is basically like 3 or 4 months staking rewards. Now, Nosho was talking about this earlier in the Discord, and he was saying that the risky thing about this is that you are actually missing out on earnings from being a node operator while you are outside of the staking pool. And there's no guarantee of when you're going to get back into the staking pool. So, you might potentially miss out on a longer period of rewards than what you would do by just being in the like staking. You carry on staking. The thing is though, with this, what happens is that the rETH discount will get bigger until it becomes really attractive for node operators, and then they'll start arbing that, and then that gives you a floor, I guess, but it's a soft floor, right? It's just depends on when people think it's valuable enough to exit to arb it. Now, that's definitely something to keep in mind, but that does give you a floor of where the price for rETH can go on the secondary market, and it's that point where people like really want to but kind of get back to that peg and arb it. So unless you are like a degen and you have been using rETH in looping and hyperstaking, where you deposit your rETH, you borrow ETH against it, and then you do the steps over and over again, unless you're in that position and you've done it many, many times, I don't think there's any risk of there being the underlying ETH will be at risk. So you don't worry about that. Like, the ETH is all there. Rocket Pool is one of the very few over collateralized staking protocols. If there's anything that happens, the risk first goes to the node operators, and the second risk goes to our ETH holders in terms of like slashing or anything. The worst thing is you wait it out until these node operators kind of bring the peg back, and then at that point, hopefully, you can sell it at a much better price than what it looks like at the moment. But that's not to say that the price it kind of settles at might be lower than where we are right now. And going back to the previous point, we need more rETH minting to happen, and that actually brings us to our next story. So that in yesterday's episode, I talked about the rETH incubator and all the different ideas that are coming into there for growing rETH and getting more rETH to be minted. Well, the incubator wouldn't be possible without people who kind of evaluate the different submissions and see what would and wouldn't work. So here there's a post written by Shifrin, who's the GMC admin, talking about how we want 3 to 5 members to review the application, review the submissions, kind of score them for utility, innovativeness, and simplicity, and then afterwards kind of come up with 2 or 3 promising submissions and providing their own insight suggestions for how they might be implemented, and then you'll get $1,000 for this, and it's about 10 hours of work. Here, this is based on survey finding from rapid research review for the tokenomics, where reviewers reported separately 8 hours, 7 hours, 14 hours, and 8.5 hours. So it looks like the median value there is around 9 hours, basically, or something like that. 8 hours. So that that's how much work is involved. You get $1,000. So eligibility based on feedback from the community. The GMC members are not excluded for volunteering to review or for submitting ideas. And then the Kane and Langers, were involved before. I said that I'd love to see these certain people. Val said that Val would like to put their name forward. Samus said they would like to put their name forward. Langers and Kane put their names forward as well. So we have 4 people who are interested in putting their names forward for reviewers of the tokenomics, of the rETH incubator proposals. If you would like to get involved with this, please submit your name, kind of share your credentials of what makes you, good in this situation. There are a few people in our community who I thought would be really good for this, but can't do it. Like, for example, Jasper, I thought would be amazing for this, but he's got something called med school. Like, what's that all about? Anyway, please, the period for submissions will end on November 8th, and we really want to have everything in place, for November 9th, so we can get the review process started and get to the next steps as quickly as possible. So definitely read that post and figure out if you are suitable for volunteering for that or not. Okay, we're going to stick to the forum for a second, and here Shifrin gave out the treasury report for October from the GMC. So the funds started at 52,465. That's RPL tokens. The inflows were 4,546. The payments that went out were 2,663, and then the end results were 53,442. But LUSD was spent quite a lot actually this last month. So we had 81,389 LUSD at the beginning of the period. We had inflows of over $10,000 worth of LUSD. We had outflows of 75,400 LUSD, and then the funds in LUSD at the end of this period were 16,124. So it says the first round of payments went out for the Cifrin and Alpha Growth for $60,000 and $15,000 respectively. And it says more recipients are switching to LUSD. The LUSD reserve has significantly decreased, and says soon the GMC may be unable to fulfill all requests for payments in LUSD. It says you can review all the transactions and flows here. There's a link to the treasury sheet. So thank you, Shifrin, for putting that together. That's not to say that, we won't pay you, but it'll just be that so the GMC, I think we send out around 20%, I want to say, somewhere around that number of our inflows, we swap that into LUSD every month. $900, yeah, I think it's 20%. So we had basically built up a treasury, but there were a couple of big outflows this month, and people asking to be paid in LUSD, and that's kind of where that's gone. So going forwards, it might be that while we're waiting for our LUSD treasury to be rebuilt, we will use RPL instead to pay those people, and that will be calculated at the price of RPL on that the night of the 13th. So you won't have too much variance. It's not like we lock in that price or anything like that. So here you can see all the different amounts of money that went out. So you can get that information from there as well. Okay, next we have this post from, well, not a post, a video from Bankless. And today was Friday, and Friday they have their weekly roll-up episode. And in their weekly roll-up episode this week, they actually talked about Rocket Pool for a couple of minutes. Some of the terminology was imprecise, but the general idea was that Rocket Pool is now opening the barriers to entry to more stakers. Ryan, Sean Adams, the guy in the top left of the screen, as you watch the episode, or if you're watching now, if you're watching Rocket Fuel on YouTube now, you can see he was actually very, very supportive of Rocket Pool. Said that he really loves Rocket Pool and thinks Rocket Pool is one of the crown jewels of Ethereum, which of course I totally agree with. But that was really nice, kind words from Ryan Sean Adams and from David Hoffman as well. So thank you to both of those for giving a huge shout out to Rocket Pool in today's weekly roll up. This has been a really, really big week for Rocket Pool with like massive growth from the Saturn Zero upgrade. And now we just need to get some rETH minting happening. And talking about rETH, here we have the latest rETH DeFi sheet that was updated by Regex Buster. And here it says, if you have rETH laying around, let's wake it up from the dead with RPL DeFi. And you can check out PancakeSwap again, who were the top yield provider for rETH this time. And here on their vault, you can earn up to 12.31%, and they've got liquidity there of $5 million in that pool, which is absolutely amazing. There are other opportunities out there as well. So it looks like some of the rewards have gone down a little bit. So Balancer, you can get around 5%, just less than 5% in certain pools, between 2 and 7 or 6% in others. On mainnet, you can get PancakeSwap is the best, but after that you got Balancer where you can get 6.75, and then for RPL you can get 6.25% on the rETH RPL pair as well. So if you think that any of those sound really good to you, but you don't have rETH, now is a really good time for you to go and mint some rETH so you can throw it into DeFi and start earning some of that sweet yield. But thank you for Regex Buster for updating that sheet once again. And on that note, I'd like to say thank you all for watching, listening, and being part of the Rocket Fuel community. I hope you all have a lovely weekend ahead. Don't worry too much about the rETH peg. I think it's going to be fine. And yeah, let's see where it stands on Monday when I come back, and I'll see you then. Bye.